I'm at the Oranmore rehearsal rooms today with Paddy Cunneen, who is the writer and indeed the director of next week's play, Watching the Detective. Paddy, it's lovely to have you back.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about the play.
The play is a one-hander and it features Stuart Bowman, who plays a detective. Basically, I wanted to do an experiment using some techniques that I don't normally use in my own writing. I've structured this very strangely compared to how I usually work, and left lots of open questions within the framework of the story itself. There are certain key ideas that I want to explore and that Stuart and I are working on at the moment. Some of them a bit abstruse, and some of them good fun because they access the genre and our expectations of the genre in terms of being about detective fiction. So it's very hard to explain exactly what it's about, but basically a detective comes on stage and describes the body that he expects to uncover under a sheet, and the story unwinds after that, questioning assumptions as he goes along. Is that enough? Can I leave it enigmatically?
It's quite playful. In one sense, in that you're playing games with the audience.
Well, exactly.
Guessing games and
all of that,
and perceptions.
Absolutely, and understanding of genre, because genre is this thing that it imposes a set of rules by which the audience can read the story.
Mm-hmm.
So if you set something up as a genre piece, mm-hmm. then instantly the audience have already made assumptions.
Yeah.
And our man steps out and says, "Let me just check your assumptions here. What are you assuming? What are you assuming? Yeah. Where's it going? What's it about?" Yeah. So it's that, and it is playful, but playing with it's the mood that we play with is quite intense, because one of the questions that bugs me about the popularity of detective fiction, which is ubiquitous on the television, it's just channels and channels and channels of it. Mm-hmm. And it's always predicated on the death of somebody as a means of entertaining the audience. Right. And so I'm really interested in that, and that's drawn me into various I get these kind of geeky phases where I like researching things. So I've been researching two academics, like Khan and Julia Kristeva, who talk about this kind of area. Mm-hmm. So
your own play, Fleeter, yes, of course, was in some regards a detective story.
Well, on the surface, there may be parallels insofar as, yes, within that somebody dies, but actually the function of the police officer in Fleeto is far more as a Greek chorus, to kind of discharge audience feeling and push the narrative into new areas. So yes, maybe there is you're saying I'm obsessed, you're saying this is one of my themes, this is another of your mischievous questions. Yes.
Talking of Fleeto and Wee Andy, you took them to the Edinburgh Festival this year.
We did.
And you won a prize.
We won a prize.
Tell us about the prize.
Well, we've been invited to go to the Brighton Festival in May, to take both plays to the Brighton Festival in May.
As an emerging talent.
As an emerging talent. Look at me, I'm emerging.
Very encouraging to be coming out of the chrysalis again.
Yeah.
In a new form.
That's right, yeah. If I can just get the wings working, I might be off, yeah.
That's exciting then, you go to Brighton Festival.
Very much, and it gives us the opportunity to try and build a tour either side of that.
Right.
And follow up on some other interests which you had.
And it's already had quite a lot of other lives. You took it to the prisons, and
we took it on tour
in Holland.
Yeah, it's been on tour in Holland, and there's a version in February. There's a version being done in Milan, half in English and half in Italian.
Yeah.
Which will be really interesting.
Excellent. And you're keeping yourself busy in other ways as well.
Am I?
Well, I know you're keeping yourself busy at Oranmore.
Yeah, definitely.
You're doing some directing course, but you're also lecturing at the university.
I teach a playwriting course, a module.
And that's helped to lead to our doing these 5 short plays.
That's absolutely right. Yeah.
New voices,
which I think would be really interesting. I think. Yeah. And a good again, another good experiment of the kind you can only really do at Oranmore.
And then in the new year, you're off to the other side of the world?
Potentially, yes, off to Perth in Australia to do some. I also work as a film script developer, tutor on a team working with writers, and there's a possibility, filmmakers, and there's a possibility this time that we might be going to Australia to work with a group of Indigenous writers and storytellers. It would just be fantastic.
That's Aboriginal writing?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That should be interesting.
It should be great. And it would be summer.
I've watched some of the rehearsals of Watching the Detective. I've watched Watching the Detective, and I would encourage you to come because it's fascinating. It's playful, and it plays with your perceptions, and I think you'll find it entertaining and engrossing. And Stuart Bowman is going to give a fine performance, I'm sure.
We hope so. We will.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks very much.